Hello, my name is James, and today is September the 7th, and welcome back to Growers Farm. We are starting on the wheat here in field 2, and as you can see, we're on the headlands. We're working our way around at the moment. I've had to cut some space to empty into the trailer because we're halfway around the headland and needed to empty. But we've got a fairly big field here. It's looking to be a pretty good yield so far. So yeah, we're gonna crack on around here and get this going. I'm quite pleased with this at the moment. It's going to be a fairly large field. We are dropping straw on here as well. We're going to be cutting round. We've got a few trees and bits, as you can see, in the edge here. Quite a bit of a... Oh, yeah, we're never going to get under those branches there. So, yeah, we've got some bits where we've planted crops that we can't get up. But as we said last time, that's about part of the course when you've got trees lining your fields like this. It is one of those things where we are in a position that... you know, you've got a combine, you've got a close side to the field. We've got auger into the field because, as I said last time, we don't want to scrape or dent that on any of these trees that are lining the field. So we're trying to avoid that at the moment. We will get turned around at the end of the field here and head back. I'm going to have to jump out in a moment though, because I think the gate is slightly in our way. I just want to make sure I don't catch my header trailer as well, which we're good for. Yeah, the gate's in the field, so I'm just going to jump out and get that closed. Right, let's get this closed. And I only want to close it long enough to get past it, because obviously our tractor and trailer need to get out of it. But that should allow us to... Oh, actually, leaving it closed for a little bit longer. See if we can actually get turned around here. There we are. It's always a tight little turn in this first corner, but we're all good. We're through. So I'm just going to jump out and make sure that our tractor and trailer can get out easily. Makes interesting piles for when we're doing the baling later, and we've got a fair amount of baling to do here. We've got a little while to go. We've got a few weeks that we're pretty good on the weather for. Probably, I think it's about I say a few weeks. It's probably about 10 days ish that we're good for weather-wise. But otherwise, it's all good. We should be able to get all of this baled in this time and sorted. So I'm quite happy with that. As you see, we've got a couple of dead patches in here. It's not too bad, and yeah, mostly the field is in a good state. So I'm quite happy with that. We are heading back here. And you can see our tractor waiting for us around this corner. As always happens, I get a little bit of a throat in the throat when I'm combining. It's all the dust that's kicking about. But yeah, Mark is driving the tractor today as usual, and so he's keeping up with us and making sure that we are constantly moving. And that's the bit where we did our little cut-in so that we were able to unload. And it really is a really good yield on here. And it's going to take us a fair amount of time to get this field done. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with this at the moment. We should fill our we should get our trailer full fairly quickly. And as a result, be in a pretty good position as far as selling this wheat goes. The farm is producing well this year. I'm really pleased. It's been a bit touch and go there for a while, but for the most part things are running nicely. The potatoes are growing well as well. We should get those in the autumn when the contract comes in to do those. We've got this field here. This is not our biggest field by a long way. We have quite a huge field just diagonally opposite from us here on this corner that is just absolutely massive. And I should think that is going to take us a couple of days to do that. Because it is the size of this combine and the size of that, it is that kind of thing. We've got Mark coming up now, so that's good. I'm going to get my auger out, and hopefully he can then just empty with us along this side here, which should be fairly easy. Should be enough space for that to happen. And yeah, it's a really, really cracking harvest we're having this year. I am very, very pleased. Where is... Oh, I hear him. Yeah, there we go. That's good, because we are almost full. But yeah, so that is... and this Red Rock trailer, I'm very, very pleased that we purchased this Red Rock trailer. It is working an absolute treat with this combine and this tractor. They are together, they are just a brilliant combination. And in fact, look at all of this. So this combine is new this year, this tractor is new this year, and this Red Rock trailer is new this year, and it is just the perfect combination for us. It is working so well on this farm, and I'm massively pleased with it. There we go. We've emptied out. He is he's about 90% full, so he'll go and empty now, and just cover that, and that will work well. So I'm expecting him to shoot past me any moment to go and empty it out, which is brilliant news. And we're going to take 4 headlands off here. This field is absolutely large enough for us to do that. We're looking at getting a good amount of crop off here as a result as well. There goes Mark, he's off. Just squeezed past us a moment ago. And we're going to crack on with the 3rd headland on here. And yeah, we're going to get a 3rd and a 4th. And then we will be sorted. So we're on to the 4th headland now. And one thing I try and do with my 3rd and my 4th headlands on the field is, on this field, is because this bottom side of it is A, not somewhere where we're going to be turning, but B, is so zigzaggy. You know, we're in and out of the trees so much. I tend to try and flatten it out as we're going along. So as you can see here, we're a little bit over. We're not using the full width of our header, and this is just because I'm trying to get it so that we're going as directly across at the bottom of here as we can. It makes it easier later when we're trying to sort of cut the field and keep some nice straight rows and some nice straight runs. And just means that we're not, you know, as I said, sort of zigging and zagging out. It's not such a problem as far as the straw goes. As I said when we did our first field, was when we did field 7. What we're going to do is we're going to go and get the windrower out. So we're gonna go out with Mark, get the windrower out, and the 2 of us will go around the field. We'll row it up and we'll get it. And we'll get it all baled, and that will work pretty nicely on that side of things. But it just means that, you know, it's not such a pain to cut the middle of the field. We get a much nicer, straighter setup on that, and yeah, you can see just a little bit neater. It just it sort of takes all that curve out of it for later on. And because we do it gently over a couple of headland cuts, it's not so extreme either. So yeah, it works. I find it's the better way to do this field. doing that. The top side of this field is not so bad for it. I tend to find that I have to do far less correction on that. So it's all good. It works as it should. The only really big zigzaggy bit is this bit at the top here, and that's not a massive problem. In fact, we basically on the fourth headland like this, we just don't bother doing that little bit that curves around at the top, and just sort of square it off. So it works well for us. We've already unloaded to the tractor again. It's looking like we're going to unload our second load towards the end of the field, which is quite good for us. Will work quite well, and that means that we're going to have an empty tank to do our first cutting, which is really quite important. Otherwise, we get stranded in the middle of the crop. Without the ability to unload, we have to then jump through hoops and things to get it to work. So timing is everything, and that's another reason why doing 4 headlands with this combine works quite well, because the tank with this yield just gives us a good amount of space and time to build things up and get things properly done and properly emptied. We're up to 73%. I'm expecting Mark to move in a minute. What will probably happen actually is, with any luck, we will reach him before. Nope, he wants to turn, so he's going to turn round. We'll wait for him to come up beside us, and hopefully it will be emptied just as we reach the end of the field here, and we'll be able to turn around and go and empty, or go and cut in while he goes and empties the second trailer from this field. Ooh, there we go. That'll do it, and that positions him then perfectly to go and empty, and should work really well for us here. And there we go, nicely emptied, and we will pull away, let him get moving and heading off. Yeah, there he goes. So he's heading off to go and tip that, and we're gonna head around the field a little bit here and start cutting in. We want to do about 4 or 5 rows, and just go try and see if we can grab those bits out of the, without picking up too much straw. There we go, that should do it. And we are gonna head into the field about here, I think. I think that should do us nicely. Line myself up, and away we go, and hopefully we can keep a good, steady, straight path on here. Yeah, about there should be good. Perfect. Happy with that. And we'll just basically try and keep on this path now. Cut straight through here, and at the other side, that will then open things up for us nicely. The nice thing about this is that, again, with this tank, this field is long enough for us to do a good long straight cut along the field, but not so long that we're going to end up with a full tank from a fresh cut in before we reach the far end. And that's what that's one of the reasons why we plumbed for this combine. It's basically the largest combine we could get without being ridiculous. We want something that we, you know, works well for this farm, that isn't then costing us a fortune to run or keep or even buy in the first place. It's getting the right time versus effort versus money for a combine, and this one is doing us perfectly. You know, we don't mind carting several times, several trailers from the field. In fact, that's a good thing for us. You know, we have the manpower to do that. I think we'd want to, if it was just me running the farm, if it was just me working here and I didn't have Mark, I think that we would probably want a trailer that either took several loads off this combine, or a larger trailer and a larger combine. Both would be appropriate to this, really. So yeah, both would be appropriate, but it's one of those things where well, it'd be appropriate for if it was just me. I don't want. While I've got the manpower here, we might as well save the money on buying huge equipment or huge, you know, stuff like that. Especially as the roads around here don't really allow for it. Scottish roads are not the widest things in the world, and as a result, or these, you know, Scottish lanes aren't the widest things in the world. And so cause all sorts of issues. The downside, of course, to using equipment is this. Basically, we are 96% full, 97, 98. Yeah, we're not going to make it to the end of this row. So I'm just going to put this out here and put my beacons on. And we'll see when Mark turns up. Here he comes now. Yeah, one of the downsides in running it like this, of course, is the fact that you do end up having this issue sometimes where you are waiting. Lots of farms will run 2 tractors and trailers for this reason, making sure that they always have a way of emptying on the field. But it's not the end of the world for us. We're doing okay. It's not often that I'm waiting. Normally he's pretty good at getting out and back to the field, so it does happen occasionally. And there we go. That's empty. So I'll put that in there, and away we go. And we can continue opening up this field. And we seem to have got about right with the distance I wanted to be, that I'm going to have to open this up to. It's going to be pretty good insofar as the distance we have to travel. The whole idea of opening it up like this is, one, to give the tractor easier access to the combine. You know, if it's always within these 2 sides, then the tractor doesn't have to drive around the crop all the time. So we save a bit of fuel that way. And the other way, the reasoning is that because we're always traveling short distances to get a cut, we are saving fuel in the combine that way as well. And this combine actually is pretty good fuel wise. It's what we're doing about 56 litres per hour at the moment, which is good. I know some combines have a massive amount higher usage than that. But yeah, this one works out pretty well. We tend to be able to get it back to the yard to refuel it. Although once we're out here now, once we start to get out to these fields, what we'll do is we'll bring a fuel tanker to it to get it to refuel, rather than traipse it all the way back into the yard, because it's a lot of work to do that, really. And we have to take headers off and things like that. We have to take the header off to get out of this field and get it back towards the farm. But once we get into the canola, that will be one that we then leave the header on and go through the top gateway to go and do our monster field in field 4. So yeah, that is all good. And working well. I'm going to get some more of this field cut out, I think, and we'll come back in a bit and see how the rest of this field's going. But the yield is pretty good at the moment. I'm pleased with this. We're almost done on the bottom half of the field now. What we're going to be doing is hopefully unloading on our return path. And you'll now see the effect of sort of straightening out that last bit has on us being able to cut down here. It makes this final cut so much easier, even with the little bits that are still in it. We're able to make sure it all stays in the header. Whereas if I hadn't sort of evened it out, it would sort of be a little bit all over the place and a little bit inny and outy. We are going to try and empty on this way, so I'm going to get my auger out now, and Mark should come alongside in a moment, and hopefully we can empty the whole way down here, and then we will cut in to the top half of the field and start opening that up. Something that I meant to tell you guys, and one of the reasons why we haven't bailed anything on here yet. I was contacted by the guys from Crone the other day, and they wanted to try out some of their new stuff. It is a whole thing, sort of a straw harvest setup that we're going to be trying out and testing on the farm. Some new feed setups for the cows and things like that, and they're basically going to lend us the equipment to try out for a while, for a few months. So we're going to try that. We'll be creating things like straw pellets and things like that. I think they talked about the possibility of maybe finding some space to put up a factory or something like that on the farm to do this stuff with. So yeah, hopefully we're going to have that stuff here next time. Next time I do one of these vlogs, and we can try that stuff out here. For that, we'll turn the thresher off while this is emptying, and yeah, we're going to have a nice empty tank for cutting in, which is absolutely perfect. But yeah, so that's sort of the big news on the farm at the moment. Can't believe I almost forgot to tell you guys that. We have, yeah, Crone are coming in. We're doing some work with them. We're trying out some of their new kit. Hopefully we'll be able to highlight some of that next time. There's balers and things like that. I'm just hoping that our big tractor is going to be enough to pull the baler. They may lend us a telehandler as well, because I think they have a bit on there. I have asked if possible, could we have a New Holland one. Which they seem fairly happy to oblige me in that, because obviously we have a very New Holland centric farm here, and I really do like my New Holland kit. So yeah, we are hopefully going along with that, and yeah, so that's the thing we're probably going to be looking at next vlog. Is doing some stuff with the stuff that the Crone are sending over, and we'll see how it works for us, because apparently it should revolutionize how we feed our cows as well, which will be quite good. So yeah, and we have the straw at this time of year to sort of work with that kind of stuff. The only thing that they have is they're bringing a square baler. It is a pretty big. I need to check with them the horsepower requirements of it, because it's one of those things where round bales won't fit in the equipment they're bringing. So we need to have square bales going. They're bringing a square baler, but historically the reason why we've got a round baler on here, even with the slopes that you can see in this field, is because they require a fair amount of punch. Now our 8650 should be able to handle that. Should be able to do the extra the extra power requirement, I think. But I need to double check. I need to check that it does actually meet the requirements for the baler. Otherwise, we'll have to speak to them about getting a tractor in. Maybe a T7 or something newer in for us to run that on. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it runs. And hopefully, with the amount of, I will say, with the size of the straw yield we're getting off here, it should be really, really good. Should work massively well. With any luck. I'm really looking forward to trying it out, to be honest. It'll be something new on the farm and something that should affect us and do quite well for us, I think. We are 80% full, and Mark is on his way. We want to get this emptied, and then we'll be in a position to cut again, which is good. We've got several trailers off here. We've got a really, really good yield off this field so far. I'm very pleased. I think we're up to 3-4 trailers off here, so that's good. Don't hear him coming up. Don't see him coming up. So I'm going to try and turn, I think. With any luck, we'll get that done before he arrives. Where's he gone? Oh, there he is. What's he doing? I think he's actually gone to tip. That's not helpful. So, yeah, we'll be sitting here for a moment longer until he gets back. Turns out he hadn't. He was just sort of coming round the top of the crop. I can see him getting into position now in my rearview mirror. So, hopefully he'll be up alongside without too much longer. Here he comes. There we go. So as soon as we've emptied some corn, some wheat in, yeah, we'll start up again and we'll keep going and we'll empty as we go. That way we can give him pretty much a full trailer full heading back to the farm, and we can just crack on here, and we're not wasting any more time that we just did sort of sitting there for a minute. Thankfully it wasn't the whole time it would have taken for him to go to the farm and back. But yeah, we still need to be a little bit more on the ball, I think. But he's doing a grand job in general. I mean, look, we as I said, I think this is going to be our 5th trailer, maybe. So yeah, that is a cracking amount, a really, really good amount for us to get out of here, and it should mean that now. We've got him lined up, so we should be emptying in the middle of the field most of the time, which is much easier for him to be turning around and bits like that. So that's good. And I can see in the rearview mirror he's heading off back to the farm, and we're just going to keep cracking on with this field. We're getting close to the end of the field now, and I'm not taking a full width on this cut because we can't fit the full width in the whole way. As you can see, we're almost taking a full width from the left hand side, but it's leaving a bit of a gap there, so that's fine. What we'll do is we're going to finish up at the top end of this field. Does mean I think we're going to end up with slightly more than a trailer. We're going to be a little bit of a position there with that, where it has to go and empty one more time. That's fine. I'm quite happy with that. We can get Mark to come and empty at that point. I am now able to get a full width in here, so that will give us a good position. We did have a few dead patches in here, but in general, it's been a really, really good yield off this field. So I haven't got much to complain about, really. We're going to have a good amount of straw on the farm in order to test out the stuff. In fact, we can't even fit a full width on this either, so we're going to go both sides down there. RT6 with Mark. He's heading over, so in a moment we should be able to empty. Let's get our auger out and that is in position, ready for him to pull alongside. Oh, it's only just. I didn't quite get this last bit right. This last sort of width right. Where is he? Because I'm going to be full in a moment. Here he comes. 98. Let's slow down a little bit. There we go. Let him pull alongside. And then we can continue on. There we go. Oh, and here we have a full width. So it looks like we were in a little bit off in a couple of places. But that's okay. We've got a couple of thin strips to finish off this field. It's going to be, the thing is, yeah, he's going to go and tip this load. And that will then be, he'll come back for the one last little bit. But I can't really help that, unfortunately. Although that's a good amount. I mean, we are going to completely fill this trailer, which is very good news. And a little bit, which is excellent news. All in all, this has been a great cut on this field. We have a really, really good amount. I'm very, very happy. And we're gonna have to play around with some new kit next time. I'm just gonna go and get that little tuft, because that's gonna annoy me otherwise. We can get at it without getting too much straw in the bed. Yeah, there we go. And then back up here and get this last line. It's actually quite wide in places, so it's not too bad. The other one goes about halfway across the field. You can see Mark heading along the road there. And yeah, I'm pleased with this. This has been a good cut of wheat off this field. We do have a very large field of barley still to do, so we're going to have a whole load more straw to play around with. So that's good news. That means that we can not only check out this equipment we've got coming from Krone, but we'll be able to get some normal bales and normal stuff for us as well. And who knows, you know, maybe we'll hold on to the Krone stuff. We'll see how we go with that. But certainly they want us to have a play with it. I'm not going to argue with that. I'm thinking, you know, for something that will work for the cows, this sounds pretty good. So we'll do that. And there we go. So yeah, we may even have some space where we can put in their building for us to play around with as well if we want. But I should think that will take a little while for them to get that built and get that in. But it should be good. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to trying out something new for our cows. So that will be pretty cool. For now, though, until Mark comes back and finishes this off and come and empty this, we are pretty much done on this field. Makes me very happy. As I said, we are gonna move on and probably get some of this windroad over the next couple of days to have a play around with stuff that we're being sent. For now, though, I think that is pretty good. So going to deactivate that. We'll put our auger out and just put that out. I see Mark coming back. And he'll be over here to the field in a moment. He should come and empty us. For me, though, this is where I'm going to leave this vlog. So all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. And for all the latest videos from the farm, please subscribe to the channel and ring that bell. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.